Hello. Ah, hey, there we go. Now I got audio. Can you guys hear me? It'll be a little bit quicker than typing. Cool. You can probably hear the printer in the background too. Of course, if I do decide to type, you'll hear me typing. Yeah, okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Can't tell if that's too loud or not. Ah, that looks okay. As long as I'm not clipping. So happy Friday evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Don't everyone type at once. Pretty good, Randall. Pretty good. Good to know, Don. Yeah, so today I got into onshape.com and really started to try and learn it, and it turned out to be a lot easier than I thought. And so I did a replacement knob for the J38 style key and posted that to Thingiverse. It's up on the page too, the Facebook page. But then Ed Beckenrich, commented that he wanted one like this old Russian style key. And so I looked at the video that he sent me of the Russian style key, and it was this top hat design. So I threw that together in Onshape in about 10 minutes and sent him back the picture and said, how many you want? So we went back and forth in the comment thread. You'll probably see that on the Facebook page, and tweaked the design. It's about an inch tall. The tall part from the brim up is about an inch, and it's about an inch wide on the brim. And as you can see, it's got these nice fillets, real smooth fillets, so the edges are all nice and rounded. And it's got about a 3mm hole in the bottom, which is pretty good for most screw types. A US 6/32 screw like you'd use for a hard drive will thread into that, and a lot of smaller wood screws and things will thread into that. So I think it'll be adaptable to most keys. The older keys had a bigger hole than that in the end anyway, so you could get a smaller screw through the hole in the end and then up into the knob. So I think it'll fit on most. So I'm going to sell them. Hello, Mike. Have a good dinner, Mark. I must admit, though, I've used a key before that had the top hat knob design like this, and I liked it. You can sort of rest your fingertips against the brim, and it's a little more comfortable. When I get this prototype printed, I'll mount it on my J38 style key, post a picture to the Facebook page. I don't know how sensitive this microphone is. Can you hear the printer in the background? It's on the other side of the room. Well, Don, I did do the flat top. I did the original style. It's up on Thingiverse, and I posted a link on the main Facebook page. On Thingiverse, it is thing number. Oh, I hope I can do this without screwing up the chat overlay. I think I will. Let's see. Yeah, I'll screw up the chat overlay. That's all right. Let's go find out the thing number. Da, da, da. I should have had this link ready. There we go. That's the J38 knob replacement, the original style. And yeah, Mark, that's exactly right. Ed over on the Facebook page sent me a video to the Russian spy key. Said he wanted a knob like that. And so jokingly, I threw one together and sent him an image. You're seeing the image in the upper left corner. And he wanted one, so I'm printing one. Oh, okay, Don, yep. Well, this should fit on most of the keys that are out there when it's done. So if you like that style of knob, you'd be able to adapt it. But I'm not going to post the model on Thingiverse, at least not right away. I'm going to see if there's any interest in it. If people want them, I'll sell them for $8 each, plus postage. See if I can make this 3D printer start to pay for itself, aside from video content. Boy, the HF bands are dead. I tuned around a little bit this afternoon. 20 meters, I just heard a few signals. 40 meters was even almost quiet. Just a few conversations to be heard. But I understand that the sun's going to kick things up a little bit this weekend, so maybe we'll get a little activity. And you know, I haven't seen anything about it, but I'm wondering if 6 meters is going to have sporadic openings each time that space station passes over, as it's starting to hit the atmosphere. They're getting more affordable, Randall. I'm sure you saw my video series on the Monoprice Select Mini. That's a great beginner's printer. So anyway, tomorrow, I think, yeah, Saturday, around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Chinese space station is going to be going right across the U.S. I know it's going to be right overhead here in Indiana, and it's going to be skimming the atmosphere at that point. So I'm kind of wondering if we'll have any sporadic openings on 6 meters. Well, yeah, that's cool. FT8 makes it too easy, though. There's no challenge. I know a lot of guys like it. FT690R. Oh, is that the receiver with the pre-selector in the upper left that kind of has a stair-step graphic in the drum-shaped dial? I'll have to look that one up, Randall. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Oh no. Oh, transceiver. I saw the R and I thought you were talking about the receiver. Yaesu had a neat old receiver. $2 watts. What bands did it cover? I think I could have made that brim a little bit smaller, or a little bit shallower than 4 millimeters. I might drop that down to 3. I don't think the brim needs to be that thick. Well, I see people popping in and popping out, so we've got some other viewers on there. Good evening, everybody that wasn't here before. We're printing out a custom knob for a CW key. Hi, Sean. Good evening, Bruce. So for those of you who just joined us, we're printing a custom knob for CW keys using the top hat style knob like the old Russian spy keys used. Hey Rob, is it late where you are? Or are you talking to Sean? Because I guess over there it would be, let's see, 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Where's my... Yeah. 11:44 over there. Yep. Hello, Ramon. Oh, printer's working on the narrow part. So I designed this knob in Onshape, which is a parametric CAD program, web-based, so it works on every computer and platform. It even works well on tablets and smartphones, believe it or not. And it's parametric, which means it's also sketch-based. So I drew a profile for half of the knob and then revolved it around in the center to make the whole thing, and then just added the chamfers and dimensions. The nice thing about parametric CAD is if I want to change something, like if I want to go in, which I might do, I think that brim is a little bit too thick. I think I can drop a millimeter off of that. It'll be a simple thing to adjust in the design file, and it updates the whole model. So I'll be doing most all of my design in Onshape from now on. I still might use Tinkercad for quick things though, because Tinkercad is awfully fast. Hello, Matthew. Oh, Matthew, it's a Anycubic i3 Mega. It's a clone of the Prusa i3 design. Bigger build surface, a little bit higher. It's 210 by 210 by 205 tall build volume. And higher temperatures are achievable, so it can do other materials like nylon or flexible filaments if you go slow. And I've been doing a bunch of upgrades to it too. There'll be a couple of videos coming down the pipe here on some of the upgrades. I've added lights to it. You can see that light that's underneath where the hot end is, so you can see the part being printed. That's a light that I added. In fact, the whole printer is kind of lit up from the top where I added a light bar. What was that click sound? Uh-oh, I better check that. Well, it's still feeding filament. I don't know what that sound was. Huh. I do not like that. I don't like it when I hear a strange sound coming from the printer. It was a weird click. Strange hesitations. Anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts, suggestions, clean jokes? Oh, there's a good question, Don. There are a couple of projects out there. They're working on that, where you grind down the plastic and then remelt it and re-extrude it. And there are at least 2 or 3 open-sourced extruder projects for making your own filament. It's a little complicated. You have to draw the filament at a constant rate. That's what determines the diameter. It has to be processed ahead of time and dried, ground to pellets. And then the hopper where you melt it before the extrusion, it has to be at a precise temperature, and that has to be maintained. So it's a little complicated, but there are open source projects for building your own filament extruder. Yep, we got 22 minutes left on this print for this prototype of the knob. I think total print time on this one knob is going to be just over an hour. What are we at? We're at 28 minutes. And we got 21 left. So just under an hour. Sean, have you seen my other videos on the introductory stuff into 3D printing? Cool, Rob. Yeah, that's what's great about the Prusa stuff. It's all open source. I had a chance to talk to him at the Midwest RepRap Festival last Saturday. If you saw the video, you saw that. Okay, Sean. Yeah, check them out. Go back in my video page, videos a couple of pages. There's a 3-part series. The first part is just introducing the printer that I chose, which is a real simple one for a good beginner printer. The second part is on modeling, and I introduced Tinkercad, which is about the simplest modeling program out there that runs on everything. It's really easy to use, and you can knock parts up in that real fast. And then the third part is on slicing, which is the most complicated bit. Oh, it's still running, Randall. Yeah, no problem, Sean. A few people have gotten into it from those videos, and are having all kinds of fun designing their own stuff. The 3D printer is about the most useful tool in my toolbox. Good night, Randall. Thanks for stopping by. You know what I might do, guys, after this print is done? I might swing the camera around at the table behind it. I've got my J38 key sitting there, and we might just go ahead and mount this on the key after it comes off the bed, and see how it looks on a real key. Oh, well, the translations are working rather well, Rob. Unfortunately, Google Translation will not translate voice in real time yet. At least not through their regular web interfaces. No, Rob, this one is not yet. I'm going to try to sell it because there's no other knob like it available. We're looking at the shape and the size of it. Now I'm wondering what'll be the easiest and cheapest way to ship it. It's an odd shape for even a padded envelope. I guess I could do that. Well, we've got about 10 minutes left on the print, I think. And then once it's done, I'll swing the camera around and we'll mount it on my J38 key and see how it looks. Whoops, slippery sucker. There's the J38 knob I made earlier. It's an exact duplicate of the original. There. Move it over where you can see it. It can just ride along. Arr! Do you send code like a pirate, Rob? Actually, Craig, I ran the Monoprice Mini at these speeds. It did fine. You can print it on the Monoprice Mini. You can run it at 60 millimeters per second print speed with 120 millimeter travel, and it'll zip right along just like this. Oh, yeah, that's right. You've got one, don't you, Craig? Well, Matthew, I don't know that I can make that comparison because I've never seen or worked with the FlashForge 3D Pro. This Anycubic, well, being a cheap Chinese printer, they cut some corners, so I did have to work on it a little bit to get it where I wanted it to be as far as reliability and all of that. But there are many parts of it that are really well built. The frame is really well built. The Z-axis stuff, the lead screws and rods are all nice and straight. What was that noise? Huh. I think that some of the filament coil is a little stuck together in the roll and it's popping loose. I keep hearing a noise over there. It sounds like the extruder skipping, but it's not. Anyway, oh, is that what it was? Yep, okay. Let me get it out of there before it jams. Thank you. I wasn't looking at the video when I heard the noise. But anyway, Matthew, there are a lot of things about the Anycubic that are really well built that I really like. Just had a few little things to take care of, like they used cheap fans, and one of them the bearings failed right away. I rerouted some wires. The power supply is a really cheap power supply, and honestly, it's very noisy. It just destroys 2 meters inside the house. I can't use an HT inside the house. We've got the printer running. I have to use an external antenna. But back to the power supply, it's a real cheap power supply. I opened it up to look inside, and they had a little thermal relay controlling the fan, a little metal chiclet that was labeled 45C, which I guess is the temperature that it turns on at. And it was designed to fit in the fins of the heatsink, but it was just floating free inside the power supply, so it was getting pretty warm in there, and before the fan would kick on. So I attached that to the heatsink, and I put in a resistor to feed some power to the fan, so it was running all the time at about 35% speed. It only kicks into high gear then when it gets warm. In fact, it has not kicked into high gear once during this print, so just running the power supply fan at 30% most of the time is providing enough cooling. Well, Rob, it's on the other side of the room, so it's about as loud as most 3D printers usually are. Although recently I replaced the linear bearings with PLA 3D printed bearings that I made. The linear bearings are always noisy on those printers. They make a grinding sound sometimes when they move fast, and they carry vibration out to the rods and the frame and to your tabletop. So I put PLA 3D printed bushings in place of the bearings, and now it's a lot quieter. Yeah, that's right, Craig. It's got thumb screws for the bed leveling. But you know, with the Monoprice Mini, once I leveled the bed, unless I disturbed it, it was okay for weeks. I really only had to check it about once a month. Oh, it looks like it's finishing up the print. Now this printer has a special coating on the glass called Ultra Base, and that stuff is just fantastic because all the materials, if that plate is hot, will stick to it like glue. But once it cools down below about 40 Celsius, the parts will pop right off on their own. Which is really great, but the downside for this live stream is we're going to have to wait about 4 or 5 minutes for it to cool off before I can get the part off. I don't know, maybe I'll be able to finagle it off there. I think that knob is too tall. That's funny, Sean. This one was 380. Okay. looks. Yeah, we're there. No, I don't know. I think that's pretty good. That feels pretty comfortable. Get this to cool off a bit so I can get it off of there. And we'll put it on my key and see how it goes. Yeah, there's no way I can get that off right now. Oh, I got it. Cool. Okay, well, hang on a minute. What do you think, guys? I'm going to go left-handed here so you can see. I think that's pretty comfortable. I don't know, I might round off the top a bit more. But I think the brim is right, and I think the grip is good. Well, there you go. From the printer to the key. What do you think? Looks good. Yes, that looks good. Nice job. Cool. Looks great. Yay. All right. Well, Sean, I'll be selling them for $8 plus postage, but postage over to the UK might be a bit expensive. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by for the stream. I'm going to go ahead and close down the stream and take some pictures to post over on the Facebook page and let Ed know that his knob is done. So have a good weekend, everybody. Happy Easter to you too, Sean, and everybody else who's watching. Well, for those of you that celebrate Easter, I should say. You never know. I've got an international audience, so... Yep, over there in the Netherlands, Rob. There was a comedian. I can't remember his name. I think it was something Allen, Rob Allen, or something. He used to end his show with good evening, good night, and may your God go with you. So he covered everybody at once. All right, 73s, everybody. Have a good night, good weekend. Happy holidays, if that's appropriate. And we'll see you all on the next stream. Bye-bye.